When introducing purpose, I discussed the need to talk about purpose on a granular level. And so we're going to start with facilities management. So what is purposeful facilities management? Purposeful facilities management is managing a property's facilities with a sense of our true impact on our communities. It's not making up reasons why something matters. It's understanding the true impact, keywords are true impact, which forms the why behind what we do. Purposeful facilities management is all about creating safe and well-functioning physical spaces that are enjoyed by businesses and the community. Facilities management is about protecting the physical. But what you might not know, what might surprise you, is the true impact that facilities management has on our community. First, have you ever heard of broken windows theory? George Wilson and George Kelling first introduced broken windows theory in an article nicely titled Broken Windows back in 1982. And here's an excerpt. I'm going to read this. Social psychologists and police officers tend to agree that if a window in a building is broken and left unrepaired, all the rest of the windows will soon be broken. This is as true in nice neighborhoods as it is in rundown ones. Window breaking does not necessarily occur on a large scale because some areas are inhabited by determined window breakers, whereas others are populated by window lovers. Rather, one unrepaired broken window is a signal that no one cares, and so breaking more windows costs nothing. So the theory goes that not only do broken windows lead to more broken windows, but those broken windows eventually lead to an increase in petty crime, also leads to an increase in larger crimes. Broken windows theory says that visible disorder changes behaviors by signaling what's acceptable. If small problems like litter, graffiti, or minor damage are left unaddressed, people interpret that as that no one is in control, rules aren't enforced, and standards are low. That lowers the barrier for further neglect or rule breaking, which compounds over time. And the core idea isn't about windows, it's about signals and feedback loops, which is that your environment shapes expectations and expectations shape your behavior, and your behavior reinforces the environment that you're in. So left unchecked, things degrade. And so, at a very deep level, facilities management is all about elevating the environment to elevate behaviors. And what's super cool is it's not only about the behaviors of tenants, but it's all stakeholders, including customers and us as property managers and even surrounding buildings, which is wild. And so don't underestimate the value of a well-maintained building. If you're not convinced, a question you can ask yourself with any facility management task is what happens when this task no longer gets done? So this framework is super helpful when any task feels void of meaning by removing it from the system and asking, what are the trail of things that happen as a result of this thing not getting done? So let's remove facilities for a second. What happens? Well, shopping centers become dirty and run down. Tripping hazards don't get fixed. The heat doesn't work in a daycare, and safety risks go unchecked. When that happens is businesses struggle to operate, customers stop coming, people get hurt, spaces people rely on start to decay. So facilities isn't maintenance, it's a difference between order and decline. Let's look at an example. What happens when we don't maintain HVAC units very well? Well, I can think of 8 things that happen. 1, repairs and maintenance increase, which wastes money. 2, this increases CAM, which puts downward pressure on base rents. 3, tenants' utility bills increase because the units run less efficiently. 4, capital cost for the property increases, replacing the HVAC equipment sooner. 5, tenants' attention shifts from running their business and making money to heating and cooling issues. And 6, they receive customer complaints, which subsequently higher customer churn, affecting their ability to pay their rent. 7, their employees suffer. It sucks being hot. 8, the tenant wants to be in the unit less, which decreases negotiating leverage at renewal time. These are all ripple effects, a cascading of consequences that occur as a result of neglecting one single line item. In reality, if we're honest, one thing rarely sinks a ship. But I'm a firm believer in how you do anything is how you do everything. And so these small things compound. And we see that whenever we take over in our own business a property from another management company, it's never just one thing that's done poorly. It's either things are really done well across the board or the whole thing's a mess. And most often it's the latter. So ask this question daily. What happens when we stop doing this? If you ask it a few times, you see that everything you do is important. And if it's not, stop doing it. Why do you matter? This is where most people get it wrong. Managers, PMAs, operations staff, or anyone in facilities, they get stuck in a mindset of, I just fix things. And that's not the case. If you don't show up, small risks become real injuries. Tiny problems negatively skew optics. Businesses lose time, money, and trust, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. We could go on and on. It's important to mention, on top of all of this, facilities management is one of the most visible elements to property management. It's the one service that people physically interact with daily. And because it's so visible, it's arguably the most important thing we do as property managers from an optics level. People can't see the financial statements each day. They can see the building. And so if the landscaping looks bad, people assume the financials are bad. If the bathrooms are messy, people assume we're missing other things. If the building is dirty, people assume we don't respond to emails quickly. Ripple effects. Your work prevents problems that others never see. That's the job. Again, you matter because problems don't happen. So why am I digging into this so deeply? It's because facilities is a strange job. When you do it perfectly, nothing happens. There's no complaints, no emergencies, no one notices. And so over time, that a dangerous thought can happen, which is, does this even matter? Because most of our work is preventative. It's invisible, it's quiet, but invisible doesn't mean unimportant. It means you're stopping problems before they even show up. Facilities management is amazingly purposeful to the company's success, our clients' success, tenants' success, and to flourishing communities. So go forth, work purposely, or don't. If you don't, you will die a sad, lonely, depressing death. Kidding. Cheers.